Hold on a sec. It says we're streaming. Sorry, I was trying. There we go. I guess we're on a little bit of a delay. Cool. But hey, everybody, welcome to the Around the Board with Becks, the board game-based podcast live show for the Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo. I am Becks, and this is Ron. Probably recognize him if you watch the Friday night show.
Yeah. Good evening, Becks.
Good evening.
We had some exciting news today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had one of our game masters from the first two pages, Devin Gallagher. He donated close to 20 board games for the board game library.
Whoa! That is so many board games. My computer absolutely reloaded the thing that I had set up. Stop. Facebook stinks sometimes. Did you know that?
No, I love Facebook. Nothing should ever change on Facebook.
Nothing ever. Never, ever. There we go. Much better. Yeah, no, so we got a bunch of cool board games, and I'm actually now going to share my screen. Cool. We're all set up. Cool. So we've got a couple of board games, and I'm going to try my best not to share too much of our chat. So we got Stratego, obviously, is one of those games, which is a classic game. I used to love this one.
What is the difference between regular Stratego and Stratego Waterloo 200 years? What is that, like a special edition? What is that?
I mean, I think it's 200. I think it's for the 200th anniversary of Waterloo, would be my assumption. I don't know wars very well.
Oh, I always figured you for a warmonger. I didn't know.
Yeah. The Battle of Waterloo. 1885 or 1815. Wow, geez. Yes, 2015 would be 200 years.
This is an expensive game.
Oh, really?
It's meant to, it's a retail value of $70. Relive and refight the Battle of Waterloo by leading your troops on as either Emperor Napoleon or the Duke of Wellington. Will you succeed in punching through Wellington's lines before the arrival of the Prussians? Or did, as Napoleon did, meet your Waterloo? Oh, wow. The pieces are much larger than the original game.
Ooh. Yeah, the only reason I know anything about Waterloo as a war is because of Atlas, so don't give me any credit where it's not due.
Well, that's an interesting addition. It's a high class addition to the board game library. What else did we get?
And also teaches me a ton about history, like Waterloo happened 200 years ago. Which I guess I would have guessed, but anyway. So we also have Voodoo. This is by Mayday Games, which sadly I don't think Mayday is around anymore, but it also came with a promo, it looks like. This would look very monkey bone.
This game was released in 2014 and is designed for 3 to 6 players. There's also an expansion called Double Trouble.
Ooh. I do not think we got the expansion, but at least have that. We've got Rick and Morty, the Rick Demption. Oh my gosh. A deck building game.
Okay.
What is this one? Oh yeah. So it's done by Cryptozoic. So if I haven't played this one, but if I was a betting person, I would say this is probably based on their same system that they used for the DC deck building games. They did like they did so many in this system where there's like the DC deck building games. They have like an NHL, like hockey deck building game that's based in the same system. I think they did Naruto. They did a ton of different things, but it's a very solid deck building base, and I like that base a lot.
Okay.
We got the Shores of Tripoli. Again, don't know much about it except that it was warlike.
Well, Tripoli played a significant role in local history here in South Jersey.
Ooh.
You know, Richard Summers, who Summers Point takes its name for, died fighting the Barbary pirates in Tripoli.
Oh. Interesting.
Yes.
I did not know that. I see. This is the only way I learn history. It's not through classes or anything else. It's by playing board games. Which I'd be very interested in this one because it is done by Fourth Circle Games. They are a local ish publisher. They're out of, I believe, DC. They actually run Forts. I think it's CircleCon or Circle DC. I think every year, which is a wargaming board game convention each year. One of their games that they did recently that I really enjoyed was Votes for Women, where you play as either the suffragettes or the Republican Party against women voting. It's pretty great. Fort Circle makes good games.
Well, here you go. Richard Summers was an officer of the United States Navy killed during the assault on Tripoli during the First Barbary War. Richard Summers was known for being good friends with Stephen Decatur, who was another naval hero, and Charles Stewart. And there's actually a statue of Richard Summers at the Naval Academy in Maryland.
Okay. Interesting. Did not know. Always, I don't know. People got here. I assume they just put their names on things and didn't do anything important. Or you name New Jersey towns off of the shape of a lake. That's about it.
Okay.
The Egg Harbor,
Did you know Willie Mays once landed a wounded airplane in Mays Landing, and that's why it's called Mays Landing?
Willie Mays? No, that's Billy Mays. Never mind.
Willie Mays, the Say Hey Kid, center fielder, Hall of Fame baseball player.
Oh, that's a completely different category of interest that I do not have.
Okay. I just made up the part about Willie Mays landing the wounded plane in Mays Landing. Though, fun fact about Willie Mays, he used to come speak at our school every year at Duberson School in Mays Landing when I was a kid. And he actually had a heart attack on stage in front of all the kids one year.
Nice. A good lesson in detecting heart attacks, I guess.
I guess. But, yeah. He came back the next year. So
he survived the heart attack that he had on stage. That's what I'm hearing. We got Hollow Grid Monster Battle. I actually don't know much about this one. And I don't know much about the publishers either, but the fact that it's such a small box actually kind of intrigues me on that one.
Hollow Grid Monster Battle.
Took me a long time to figure out how that was spelled. Because boy, is that very fanciful text.
Okay.
But no, it looks cool. Like, honestly, I love small box games.
Okay.
It's app driven.
It's a symbiotic combination of physical components, 2 decks of 36 cards, and 2 device stands, and a mobile app that uses a camera. What?
Ooh. Yeah, it looks like it's using the camera to animate the figurines. I'll have to check that one out.
Very much in the style of the chess-like game that one can see played by R2-D2 and Chewbacca in the original Star Wars movie. This is not a card game.
Okay.
That happens to be playable in an AR fashion, but rather a video game that employs a physical CCG to build your monster teams.
Interesting. Always let the Wookiee win, though. So if there's any Wookiees at the convention, you have to. It's law, I think. You let them win.
Our director of operations, Phil Wirt, was once mistaken for a Wookiee.
We've got Retreat to Dark Moon. Darkmoor. Sorry, I literally said that to myself before correcting myself to Darkmoor. Action phase.
Reading is fundamental.
Reading is fundamental.
It's a card game for 2 to 4 players where each player controls a dark overlord trying to escape legendary heroes and reach various locations in Darkmoor. The game involves managing a deck of minions, strategically using their abilities and scoring points by escaping, controlling locations, and eliminating rival minions.
Oh, that's cool. So be a bad guy. The game.
Yep.
Which is a common style of game for sure, but that looks interesting for sure.
Okay.
Costa Rica
from Mayfair Games.
Yeah, with a lookout Spiel being the I guess the original publisher, but this is all in the like all back in the day. Mayfair just printed a bunch of games that basically had the same like layout. Haven't got a chance to play this one, but I've heard it's good.
Well, here's what it is. It is different sets of exotic animals, different terrains, and omnipresent danger of mosquitoes await in the jungle of Costa Rica. And the player explorers are here to collect sets of rare and exotic animals to rescue them from poachers. Collecting as many as you can of one kind is valuable, but having one of each kind can be beneficial as well. Just avoid being bit too badly by the mosquitoes.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that's too real. I can't. Mosquitoes are already out, and I don't want to do that. This one, though. Oh. Crew, the mission from the Quest for Planet 9. Sorry, the next one is Mission Deep Sea. There's 2 games in the same series. This is a cooperative trick-taking game. So trick-taking games being like Diamonds and Spades that a lot of people are familiar with. But this one is fully cooperative. So you, everybody is working towards the same goal, and the goals change game to game. In this one in particular, from scenario to scenario, and it's really nice because it has like a building difficulty, so even people that don't know trick-taking games can really jump on this one. Right. And there's limited communication, which is the main twist in it, in that you can't communicate. The only way you can is sometimes you pass cards, and then sometimes you get an option to indicate one card in your deck, whether it's the only of that suit, the highest or the lowest. It's really cool. It's really neat, and it honestly makes you a better trick-taker player.
Why don't you explain to people what a trick-taking player is?
So trick-taking games in general, the general gist of the game is, and it's usually played with like a normal 52-card deck, maybe 2, where you have a hand of cards. Most generally, the game will deal out every card to every person, so all of the cards that are in a 52-card deck are available. And a start player will play down a card. It'll obviously be of a suit, so hearts, clubs, spades, diamonds. I don't remember which one I'd forgotten. And then every other player has to play what's called in suit. So if somebody played a diamond, everybody else has to play diamonds, and whoever played the highest diamond wins that hand, wins the trick, as it's called. And then you continue on from there. Trick-taking games take all sorts of different forms, whether it's win the most tricks, win a certain amount, bet on how many tricks you're going to win. Sometimes you play in teams, sometimes you play on your own. There's all sorts of different things, but it all revolves around that trick play where a start player starts the trick with a card, and everybody has to follow to win the trick, have the highest of that suit that was labeled. So it's a real fun, but real old mechanic. I mean, obviously, like lots of people's parents play. I mean, like Pinochle is a trick-taking game. Like tons of trick-taking games out there played by all sorts of ages of people. So really cool system.
All right.
Where else are we at? Zombie State. This is another one I don't know, although it's done by Zombie State Games, so I'd have to assume based on that it is their first game that they played. It looks like we've got tons of. I'm gonna assume if it's a zombie game, red is zombies and it's bad.
Well, it looks like Zombie State was a video game.
Ooh. I mean, that does happen a lot where they transfer a video game to a board game or vice versa.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But yeah, it looks like a general zombie game. You're a world leader or a group of nations. Each turn, zombies feed and randomly spread throughout your territory, quickly reducing your population and increasing the number of zombies. At the beginning of the game, you have no technologies or military that are effective against the viral threat on a worldwide scale. Each turn, you must maximize the use of resources to draft and use military, test technology, and then strategically use those successfully tested technologies. As the game progresses, outbreaks and the spread of zombies makes the game more difficult through a loss of population, resources, and freedom to act. However, if you have been an effective leader, you will have developed effective technologies that you may use to try and eliminate the threat of your from your territory completely. Otherwise, leaders will find the game ends with the conversation of their population into a conversion of their population to The Walking Dead. Oh my gosh, those are
Okay.
too many words. That didn't really tell me how the game plays, but I am excited to see it.
All right.
Yeah, appreciate any game. This one, I have never heard of it. Furtherance, but it looks really cute. Very sorry, that was my dryer.
Oh, I thought it was a rejection of the game Furtherance.
No, I actually kind of like this one. What we got? Flannel Games. And this one was done in 2020, which there's a lot of games that came out in 2020 that just sadly didn't make it too far because of reasons.
It's just like the number of babies that were made in 2020. There were a lot of babies made during that year.
A lot. It looks like a really cool. Just get some asymmetric player powers. We're playing cards to acquire resources, and it looks really cool. Almost a adventure-y. But I just like the art style a lot. It's got some really cute cards.
Okay.
Cool. Keep coming back to the restream as if this is where I'm. Revolver 2 from Stronghold Games. Oh my gosh, I was about to say Stone My Stronghold Games. I believe this is a quick card game. In case anybody was curious, it is like 100 degrees in New Jersey right now, so me and Ron are both dying.
Yes.
Just as a heads up, in case you see the sheen forming on us.
Defend the village as the gun-toting Padre, or murder indiscriminately as Mapache.
Looks like a 2-player card game set in the Old West.
Yep. So it's a one-on-one thing.
I do like 2-player card games.
Yep. General Mapache and his band of thieving outlaws, while the other player controls villagers and guardians that protect the town of Malpaso, led by the infamous Padre Esteban.
Ooh,
Padre Esteban.
No idea.
Okay.
Next up, we've got the Rick and Morty Anatomy Park of the game. This is another one done by Cryptozoic. I don't know it too well, but if I have to assume, it is another deck building game. No, city building dice, but sure. So okay, so it's a different theme altogether from the other ones. Cryptozoic's a good. They make good games overall.
Okay.
Obviously, we liked Rick and Morty. Summer Camp. This is a really nice Phil Walker Harding game. It's a very, I'm going to say entry level. What's the word I'm looking for? I think it's a deck building game. I have it on my shelf of games I haven't played yet.
Is it Camp Crystal Lake?
No, not at all. No horror, no nothing. Just a cutesy summer camp themed deck building game.
So like Meatballs, the movie Meatballs.
Haven't watched it.
You are so culturally unaware.
Have you seen?
How could you have not seen Meatballs?
When do I have time? And I've got to watch Jaws for the 20 bajillionth time on
What
July.
are you talking about? It's 50-year anniversary. I watched that from the back of a Volkswagen Bug as a 5-year-old at a drive-in with my parents, and it was sweltering. It was like today.
You don't age yourself. It's coming up on its 50-year anniversary.
I know. I'm going on 55.
Anybody who could do math was you're correct. 50 plus 5 is 55. No, yeah, I just gotta watch Jaws for the millionth time. I don't have time for Meatballs or whatever that is. But Summer Camp, cute, fun little card game. For Walker Harding's very good.
Meatballs is worth the watch.
Maybe
a lot of character development in the movie Meatballs.
It'll be added to my long list. I think just got yelled at for not watching The Graduate. There's a decent amount of movies that I haven't seen. Haven't seen The Godfather.
What kind of monster are you? What do you mean you haven't seen The Godfather? What?
I haven't seen The Godfather. Who needs to see it at this point? It's culturally known.
You're like the slaves from Game of Thrones. It is known. It is known.
God. Don't remind us of that failure of a TV show.
What?
Everybody knows that last season sucked.
What? Oh my God. Oh.
We got a Taco Bell game.
I agree, Elise. Becks needs a movie night. Not only do they need a movie night, but they need to be brainwashed away from whatever is brainwashing them currently.
Maybe Page movie night. Are we doing a? We got that one person that was doing a movie. We could watch movies at Page.
Yeah, we could do that, and we could also do. We could have interim Page movie nights as long as the air conditioner is on in the game in the Page office here. It wasn't on when I came home, much to my sadness. All right.
You go to Taco Bell often?
I don't. No, not in many years.
Gosh.
As a young person, maybe I might have been 20. I don't think so. We had a little like game club, and our game club used to meet in Rio Grande, New Jersey, by Wildwood, because we had a spot in an old motel on Route 47 where one of the kids' parents owned this motel, and they were using it for a different purpose, for like a fabric business. But they said if we cleaned out the big end unit, we could use it. So we used to play in this end unit of this motel, which was outstanding. We had an air conditioner. We had a great table. We had couches. But there was a Taco Bell next door. I ate so much Taco Bell at that time that I haven't eaten it in 35 years as a result.
I had a pretty decent break of Taco Bell, and then they bought over like $5 box, and how can you say no to $5 fast food? But anyway, this is a Taco Bell party.
If it was Arby's, and it was $5, would you have eaten it?
I can't.
Huh?
I
wouldn't have eaten it. You wouldn't have eaten it.
I can't. They don't have any vegetarian options. I could eat their fries.
You wouldn't have eaten it. My point stands. All right. What's next?
What is next? We've got Visitor in Blackwood Grove. I recall this one. It is a team-based game. I believe somebody is the visitor, quote unquote. You're kind of the alien that lands, and then your teammate is the child that found you when you landed. Kind of very ET-esque. Whereas everybody else is agents, generically from the government, you assume. The alien gets to make a rule that is like certain types of objects, like say plastic objects, can pass through their force field. They want to make it so that the agents are basically pushing things through, trying to get them to pass through and trying to figure out why it does or doesn't. and the agents are trying to figure out correctly what can pass through before the kid does. That's the game. It's really cute. I like games where you can make up your own like rule, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Jake from State Farm.
Jake from State Farm is locked in.
Yeah.
It just said it. It said Jake from State Farm has joined the chat.
Stay hydrated, everybody. It's hot. Let's see. Paradiso. I actually don't know this one either. This person had Paradiso. Sorry, there's more. There's more letters that I keep not putting out there. So we've got an abstract strategy tile placing game. It's a new version of Sedici. And it's been re-implemented again. Jeez, wow. Apparently a very popular game that just keeps getting reprinted over and over and over again. It's a cool like abstract strategy game for. It says 1 to 2 players, so I guess there's a solo mode, but it's a 2-player game.
Interesting.
Majority rules. I actually don't know this one. Is that about the calendar company?
Majority Rules is a party game where the players vote on hypothetical situations and the majority vote wins. It involves nominating candidates, drawing question cards, and then voting on which candidate best fits the scenario presented. The game is designed for 3 to 8 players ages 14 and up.
Whoa, you got this wrong. This says 12 and up. I'm sure
I'm reading it I'm reading it on Google.
Yeah, I know. Just look, the image itself says 12 and up, 2 to 6.
I can't read that fine print. I'm far too old. I thought we established that.
And then we're back to Stratego.
So thank you to Devin for donating these games, and if anybody else is out there watching and you have games languishing on your shelves, such as Becks, and or you have games in your basement, or you just feel like donating some games, please reach out to me, reach out to Becks, reach out to Phil, reach out to Ed. We'll happily take donations because, these sort of things help us build our board game library.
We also happily take any information about I don't want to say that, whatever, but if a store's closing and they're having a big sale, or even if a store's not closing and they have a big sale, we're always cool to know that too, because we
will go buy things on the cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, the problem is that, Becks can be a little bit of... Here, I'm sharing my screen here real quick.
Go for it.
Go ahead, Becks. Go ahead and put that on the screen.
Come on.
Yeah, that is what Becks is saying. She's a vulture.
I am 110%. I am, oh my gosh, I am making my screen wiggle and therefore my camera. No, I go to conventions and I do trades. I go to the flea markets. Speaking of which page has an amazing flea market. I go to flea markets. I go to Goodwills every time I'm near a Goodwill just to check if they have board games. I am a deal seeker. I have an alarm that goes off at 1 o'clock every day for the Game Nerds online daily deal. I'm up for a deal anytime. So if you see deals, let me know. Because I personally want to know. But also I'll get stuff for Paige if it's good stuff.
All right. So if you want to donate things, let us know. We happily take donations to build our board game library. I think everybody knows at this point we're a 501c3 charitable organization. Yep. So we will give you a charity receipt and you can write this off on your taxes. And I just want to point out something else here. You see that we do have an official sponsor of our programs.
Oh yeah.
Not so big on the board game side, but on the role playing game side, we've got Frog God Games. They're very generous. They donate a $25 gift certificate every Friday night for a program, and they're good people.
That's what I call a deal.
Yeah, Zach Glazer, great guy, constantly under the threat of bodily harm from his wife Jen, who has actually stabbed him in the past by accident. So she says, nobody believes her. Yes, it was by accident. So, but the frogs are good people, and we appreciate them.
Yeah, and you'll again. I think Ron mentioned in there. You'll be able to see them at Page. They'll be there. You can obviously see their wares at the convention, but also you can go to their website. They have plenty of stuff on there. But you'll get a chance to meet everybody, meet some of the people that design some of the games they have at Page. It's really cool.
All right. So, Becks, do we have anything else tonight, or are we gonna?
Yeah, honestly, I don't think we have much going on tonight. I do want to mention also in the terms of donations, we do also have an Amazon wish list that has a ton of stuff on it. But mostly I want to mention, obviously, if you want to check out the Amazon wish list and donate anything, that's great. But also I just want to say thank you to the people that have already donated some stuff. I believe we got a whiteboard recently.
We've gotten a lot of things. Just today, we had 6 floor freestanding sign poles come in. So 6 more of those came in. Another folding whiteboard came in today.
Nice.
And there was one last thing came in as well. So yeah, I mean, we really appreciate everybody's generosity. Those sort of things, they help us. As we're building up our infrastructure for future conventions, we're going to need more things like additional printers and ink. And I know some people out there are probably thinking, well, they can buy that stuff. We buy badges and things like that, but we also give away a lot of money to our charitable initiative, which is the Gamer Assistance Program. We've actually given out over $10,000 to different folks from the gaming community who were in need of financial assistance. We top $10,000 now in our distributions, and so sure we could do that, but then we wouldn't be able to give back as much to some of the folks in the community.
Yeah, and as a person that's been on the customer end for the first year of Page and then been on the back end of Page, Page is run with like Chromebooks that Ron bought for like nothing. So Ron will go to games and stuff and spend thousands of dollars on board games for the board game library. So our priorities, I think, are in check and correct. We do anything to improve your experience at any time. And if it's a printer for us and we can get a janky one that maybe works sometimes, we'll take that over spending real money on an actual printer. So the donations are very helpful for the fact that, we usually spend that money somewhere else. So getting a donated TV or printer that we normally wouldn't need, so we're not going to spend the money on it. We'd rather spend it on RPG accessories or stuff for the convention. It just helps with that. We definitely aren't just, just asking for money for nothing. We're spending it on charitable things, and then also on our charity, the charity that we are, and also on the things that make the convention cooler and awesomer for you, the attendee.
All right. Well, Bex, I think we're back next week, and then we're off on the 4th, right? Is that what we're shooting for?
I think so. Also because it's the 4th. I honestly.
Yeah. And then we'll be back.
It would be the 8th. The 4th is Friday.
Okay. All right. So we're not going to do this show every week.
Yes.
We're going to do it every other week.
Yes.
moving forward. So we'll be posting the dates of the shows, and we're going to be shooting to get a guest on here in one of our upcoming shows. We've reached out to a couple of the board game folks that are going to be a page, and we haven't been able to connect with any of them yet on dates, but we'll get that done.
We're in the summer season, and I mean, literally, Origins was just last week. The week, like, all the board game people are everywhere all the time, so like, it's gonna be just a hard time getting anybody in general. So just bear with us. We're hoping on lining up schedules with somebody and getting some guests on. Maybe we'll speaking of games and stuff, we do have that one games and stuff guest. I wonder if we could get him.
I can find out. I'll actually be there tomorrow. I have to work down in Baltimore, and I'm going to swing by the store.
If you haven't gotten a chance to go to Games and Stuff, lovely audience that is listening to our podcast, it's a very good store. It's really nice. It's huge.
And it's well air conditioned.
Oh my gosh, it's so well air conditioned. And they have so many cool drinks. I don't know if you've ever sat and like played games and had their drink selection. They have all those cool like craft sodas and stuff. Oh, it's so good. They have gashapons. They have books. I picked up books last time I went there. So wild. Like novels, not RPG books.
I did today stop by another one of our supporting retailers, The Complete Strategist, and picked up a couple of RPG items that I'm going to be thumbing through. But The Complete Strategist and King of Prussia, I just want to give them a little shout out. Good guys there.
Yeah, I love that store. I always seem to find like they've just got so much packed. They're packed like my game library is, like, just with all of their games and more. I always seem to find like the weirdest thing in there. It's always like a treasure hunt in there. It's amazing. I love going when I can. And also, it's King of Prussia. There's tons of stuff over there.
Yep. So, Becks, we're going to be getting together soon to play Thunder Road.
Yes,
correct?
We do have to, especially now that my air conditioning is getting fixed.
And then we're going to shoot some. We're going to shoot some pictures and some video of that while we're playing and share them here on the show.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well,
Thunder Road Vendetta being one of the board games in our library that I stole from the library, but it'll be back in time for Paige. No
okay, so I think that's a wrap for tonight.
Yeah. Seems like a good night. Well air conditioned is the most important thing right now. I'm dreams of Paige, and it's slightly snowy, cold outside. Ugh. January. I can't wait.
Well, all right. Well, everybody have a good night. Stay hydrated. One more day of record-setting heat before some relief and some rain comes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Stay safe. Stay inside. Stay in air conditioning if you can. Yeah, and stay hydrated for sure.